Welcome back to the next part of my EvE Online Tips for New Players series. Now, in the first 3 videos, I used a temporary character that I had created specifically for making those. For this video, and for the remainder of this series, I will be using this character that was made. I made this character way back when I first started with EvE because, frankly, I wanted to make sure that I was the one that owned that name. And at the time, I didn't have any plans to use the character for anything, but since then, I've changed my mind somewhat. And we can see here, if we click right here on this little progress bar, or type Alt-X, the training queue comes up, and we have the Shield Operation Skill Training, and Caldari Frigate Level 3 is now training. And that will take care of 7 hours and 22 minutes of the skill queue. And what I'm going to go do here is right here, this checkbox, skills that fit within the queue's timeline. So click that, and it removes a bunch of them temporarily. So I'm going to go ahead and expand all of these. And let's see, these are skills that you start out with mostly. Actually all except for the shield operation skill. All right, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add each one of these in. And that takes care of 20 hours worth of skill training. And I'm going to go ahead and hit apply, because along the way there's going to be some new skill books added, and I'll have to be training those. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room so that I can add them to the top of the queue and so on. Inside of 3 minutes, right about 3 minutes, the shield operation skill will be finished, and we'll go on to the next one. All right, now at this point, this is a new character that has already gone through all of the stuff that our temporary character went through, and he has arrived at the School of Applied Knowledge, which was the school he chose during creation. And at the time, I didn't know about how good of a newbie starter corp Cass was, or I would have made him in the same corp. At the time, I was making him as basically a name holder character, and it didn't really matter, so I just sort of picked at random. And I figured, okay, let's just make this one different just for giggles. Anyway, the tutorial missions will all be pretty much essentially the same, regardless of which of the 4 major factions you choose. So we're going to start out here, and I'm going to start out with the exploration arc. This is 5 missions that get you familiarized with exploration and the processes involved with that, such as scanning. It's important. Okay. Welcome, TinfoilChef. You must be here to learn about exploration. I'll be happy to teach you. Firstly, what is exploration? Exploration is the process of using long-range scanners to search vast areas of space. This method of scanning allows a capsuleer to find hidden areas that would otherwise be inaccessible. Some places can only be found by scanning them down and warping to them. Exploration is a career of great diversity. There are many disciplines and different areas for a capsuleer to focus on. Some explorers are archaeologists in search of ancient treasures. Others are skilled at finding scrap metal and valuable salvage, while others pursue even more varied and interesting avenues. This sounds like an appealing career, then I can help tell you more and explain your first assignment. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click accept. Now, I don't think I'm necessarily going to read all of that mission text every time. I'm going to try to summarize it to keep the video from getting too long and or boring. Okay. You get a certain amount of sensor capability in every ship, and we're going to use this to locate an anomaly training site. So we're going to undock, close this, undock, and we're going to locate that anomaly training site. Let's scroll out a little, zoom out a little bit here to keep that ship from being in our face too much. The scanners, this button right here. Click this, and we're going to click this eyeball to activate the sensor overlay. And you can already see right up there an anomaly training site has been located. Now these show with just the basic ship scanners. So we'll just go ahead and click here and click Warp 2. Actually, we don't have to click on it. Just mouse over it, click Warp 2 on this. And we'll head straight to the anomaly training site. There we go. Warping right through the station. Arriving out here at the training site. And I do believe there'll be a pop-up from the agent when we get here. Okay, I didn't see a pop-up, so we'll read the details. Oh, well, let's see. We need to get a proof of discovery. It says right here what we're looking for. There's a proof of discovery, and it's going to be in one of these training containers, which I just clicked on the overview. It changed. All right, let's head towards that. We'll hit here, click approach, and we'll go ahead and open cargo as soon as we get within range. Now, because there's another person out here, it's entirely possible that they may have already opened the training container, in which case we'll have to pick another anomaly training site. Okay, we're within range. It's opening. Boom. All right, very good. Now let's click here for the School of Applied Knowledge and dock. And if we take a look at our mission details, read details, scroll down, we have the item, and the mission will be complete when we get to the dock and hit complete mission. All right, open up the mission, complete the mission. All right, now we're going to do about cosmic signatures. Request the mission. Before we move on to more advanced scanning, we're going to be taken on a tour of different types of signatures. All right, so we will accept the mission. Close that window. Undock again. Now, generally speaking, as I go through the tutorial missions with this character, I'm not going to cover every single aspect of every single mission, because there are 45 of these missions in total between the 5 different career agents. And frankly, that could get annoying fast. All right, let's warp to our location in Dead Space. Swing the camera around so we can see where we're going. And here we go. Off on a tour of the various different kinds of sites that we can scan down. And the main reason I'm doing this stuff with the in detail here with scanning is because when I first started, scanning was a lot more involved. Okay, now we're hearing from Ruli Isorin from the Servant Sisters of EvE. Okay, we're arriving at a staging pocket of a training facility, and there's an acceleration gate, which is a powerful structure able to fling your ship thousands of kilometers forward and deeper inside. You have to be within 2,500 meters to operate it, and then you activate the gate and head on through. Okay, so you can activate it by hitting here and clicking Activate Gate. You can right click on the gate itself and hit Activate Gate, or you can use that, in my opinion, kind of annoying radial menu, which I'm not going to use. Alright, so we'll activate the gate. Our ship proceeds to head through into the first pocket, or room, because the areas within a site that is defined by acceleration gates are commonly referred to as rooms, and this would be the first room. Okay. Inside a supply area, before we go into the different types of stargates, different types of sites, we'll provide you with the equipment you're going to need. And there's a cargo rig here. So what we're going to do is click on it here in the overview and click Open Cargo. Our ship will navigate to within 2,500 meters, and a cargo overlay will open up where we can get everything out of there. Text updated sooner than I figured it would. Alright, now we go Loot All. There's Civilian Data Analyzer, civilian versions of Relic Analyzer and Data Analyzers, Core Probe Launcher, and 8 Core Scanner Probes. We just loot all. That takes it out of that, puts it into our ship. We'll go ahead and close this. And now we will activate the acceleration gate. And this is talking about what the scan probes are. They're basically small robot ships, built-in sensors, and these can reach out to 32 AU, which is quite a distance. And working with a group of these together, you can scan down almost anything. There are the kind we have here, which is intended for locating sites, and then there's combat scanner probes, which can locate ships, which will get a fair amount of use in a PvP type situation. In some PvP situations, not necessarily all. Okay, now we're arriving at an example of a data site. You see structures like this out here. Let me zoom out. Structures like that, like this with these big dishes sitting there, and maybe something like this, and so on. So, at a place like this, many scientific and technological resources that can only be found this way in a site like this, such as unique blueprints and decryptors. In order to infiltrate these systems, a capsuleer needs to train to use data analyzer device modules. Okay, now we're ready. We're going to head through the acceleration gate to the next room. Zoom back in. I can see the ship. Almost looked like it disappeared there for a second, but no. All right. Now, this is a relic, an example of a relic site. Basically, some ancient structure, outpost, base, ship, whatever, usually in a ruined and broken condition like this. And you have the ability to retrieve valuable items from ancient ruins in space without ever leaving your ship. To recover items this way, you'll need to train to use the Relic Analyzer module. The advanced piece of equipment allows a pilot to quickly sift through ruins and recover anything of value. I think that's a little bit of a simplification, but it works. Now, acceleration gate, and proceed onward to the third example, which would be a gas site. Okay, a gas site would look something like this, basically a big cloud of gas in space. And the clouds found in these areas are used to make drugs known as boosters. Not all of them are illegal, of course, but the entire booster industry is quite shady. The type of booster you can make is determined by the type of clouds you find. There are two broad types of cloud to find. And I am not even going to try to pronounce this word or that one. Of these two cloud types, there are 8 individual flavors to find. I won't confuse you by too many details right now. All you need to remember is that gas sites have gas clouds, and those clouds can provide the raw materials to make boosters. In order to extract the material from a cloud, a capsuleer needs to train to use gas cloud harvesters, of course. This is the last one, and this is the last room in this section, so we are now going to head back to the agent. And to do that, I'll move the view so I can see this, and come up here and click Dock. I could also go over here and click Dock. Typically, in my experience anyway, training systems have one station and one warp going in and out. It makes for less confusion. And speaking of confusion, the next missions are going to be the kind of thing that when I first started, it took me the longest time to actually work out how to do scanning and finding things. And it was really, I found it quite personally embarrassing to realize, just to think about just how long it took me to get scanning. The system was not nearly as user-friendly as it is now. Okay, accept the mission, or open the mission up, excuse me, and complete the mission. And we've been given a bantam and some ISK and then some more ISK for doing it within the time period. All right, now let's go ahead and request a mission. Now we're going to have you properly scan down one of each signature type. This will demonstrate to us that you not only have an understanding of different signatures, but also the skill to find each one of them. You can only find cosmic signatures using core scanner probes. First one in this mission is to scan down a data site and pick up a proof of discovery from a training container. Okay. Materials you recover in a data site can be quite valuable. They're all used during invention of research processes that produces blueprints for advanced Tech 2 ships and modules. Even if you're not a scientist yourself, the materials can be sold on the market for a pretty decent profit. In order to recover valuable data and schematics from a data site, you have to use a data analyzer, and so on. All right, we're going to go ahead and accept the mission. One of the rewards is a skill book for hacking, along with 102,000 ISK. All right, we'll close this. Let's go over here to the inventory. In the ship, we've got these things. Let's go ahead and take them. Drop them into the item hanger, although that's not necessary actually. Fitting window. We've seen this before during the aura missions. And we'll take the core scanner probe, right click, fit to active ship. And then we'll take these core scanners, the probes, we're just going to drop them there. Hello. Okay, now that's loaded the ship, loaded the unit with those mod probes. Data analyzer, and oh, wait a minute, let me look at the journal, mission details, and this one is going to be a data site. Okay, so we'll take the data analyzer and fit that to active ship. Okay, survey skill was given to us on the last mission, I believe. I'm going to hit train now to level 1. Switch skill chaining, confirm this, say yes. Now I'm going to open the skill queue. I'm going to hit Alt X. Survey is now at the beginning. It'll be done in 8 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in again for level 2. Hit apply, close that, close the fitting window, close the inventory window, and undock. And we can go ahead and close this as well. We're going to get out here and we're going to scan down a data site. We undock, and the first thing to do, the scanner button here, click that, and then come over here and click probe scanner on the left hand side. I'm going to move this over here out of the way. And right here, launch spread formation. Click that. That launches the probes. Now I'm going to click this to activate the map. Drag this map control out of the way. And here we are. Mouse wheel zooms in and out. The left mouse, the right mouse button, if you click and hold, drags this around. Right mouse, the left mouse button, left mouse. Click and hold, and you rotate it. And this is our spread formation. The red circles or spheres in here are possible sites. The only ones we know for certain are the cosmic areas, the anomaly training sites. There's a bunch of cosmic signatures here, but we have a 0% resolution on all of them, which is why they're in red on here, because we don't have enough signal to pin them down. Now, to control the probes, here's the way I have figured out to do this. Press the Alt button on your keyboard, and it brings this up. Now, what Alt does is when you mouse over one of these probes, and you move it, say for example, move it inward, like this. It moves all of them. And you move it so that they overlap, kind of like that. Let go. And we're going to stay at the default range of 16 AU. And press this button here, Analyze, to actually scan. The probes will all warp to the new locations. And then it will scan. And then it will begin to yield some results. Okay, now we're looking for a data site. We'll scan down this list here. Right there, that one. Click on this. That's a data site. You'll notice over here, a yellow inverted triangle showed up. Okay, so now we're going to click there, launch pinpoint formation. And that puts all the probes closer together in a smaller pinpoint formation. Now to move this whole group, we're going to hold Control on the keyboard, mouse over these things, click left mouse, drag them over and put them exactly over that yellow inverted triangle. Let go. And now use the left mouse button to rotate this thing like so. Right mouse to drag it down a little bit, and then zoom in. You can see, you have to remember, space is three-dimensional, so we moved it to superimpose in one angle. Now we'll hold Control, mouse over the probe markers, and move it up. And now it should be absolutely dead centered on that. Okay, not quite. Let's go ahead and move it again. Control, pull it over. That will be more than enough. Okay, now we hit scan again. This time we're going in a range of 4 AU. They're all overlapping. They're a lot closer together. We should get a much better signal from this data site. All right. Now we look in here, the data training site. Now it's a green inverted triangle, and we have a 100% signal. So, the first thing to do, this button to recover the active probes. Okay, you'll notice here that there is a countdown timer on these probes. When it reaches 0, the probes are destroyed. So you want to go ahead and recover your active probes when you're done using them. and you click on the data site and click Warp to, and go ahead and click here to turn the map off, and we can turn this off. Alright, and as the ship warps to the data site, this is a training area for capsulers studying how to scan down data signatures. Once the area is discovered, capsulers must use a civilian data analyzer module to recover the proof of discovery document from the container inside. We'll close that. We're arriving at the data training site. Okay, there is a training container. And okay, here's really Icerin again. And I'll have to use the civilian data analyzer to access the thing. And okay, normally you could expect to find all kinds of useful resources inside of a hacking container, and that's what this is. All of it relates to the process of invention and so on, Tech 2 variants of modules and ships, and so forth. Okay, so we will click on training container, and I'm going to click up here where it says keep at range 1,000 meters. Ship will now move to within 1,000 meters of it, and while we're at it, we will lock target. Once we are within 2,500 meters, we'll activate this module here, the civilian data file. Excuse me, within 5,000 meters. Okay, activate that, and here comes the hacking game. Sort of a hacking, it's a kind of a mini game. Basically what we need to do is to find the system core in this grid and disable it. Find one of these spots, an encrypted node, click on it. It reveals these others. Go ahead, I'm going to click on this. There's no particular order or anything, and this little grid is different every time, in my experience. And we're looking for the system core. We may encounter that or a firewall. Okay, here we found a defense subsystem, the firewall. And you can see its status and our status, the strength of our virus, and the virus coherence, so on. If I mouse over this, okay, survey skill training is complete. Just click on this, and then click on it again. We have defeated that firewall. We've got a couple of more nodes here. This one is the one we're looking for, the system core. Click on that, and then click on it again. System hack successful. We can now open the cargo, pull out that proof of discovery into our cargo hold, close that, and we're done here with that. And now I'm going to do two things. I'm going to click on my core probe launcher, right click, reload all. That will reload it with core probes. Now we'll go ahead, click on the name of our station here, and hit dock. Okay, we've arrived back at the station. We'll go ahead and accept or open the mission again. We will complete the mission. Okay, now let's go over here to inventory, because hacking skill book was part of what we got here. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on that, train now to level 1. Oh, we can't train that until we have electronics upgrades level 3. Okay, well, that's good to know. Go ahead and close this, and we'll get that other skill soon. Let's have a look here. All right. There's all the possible skills that we have that we can train right now. Okay, we're doing good there. And now we're going to repeat this routine. This time we're looking for a relic site. First thing we need to do, ship fitting, get the data analyzer and click here to unfit that module. Open the inventory, get the relic analyzer, right click on it, fit to active ship. Accept the mission. This time we get an archaeology skill book. And again, we're getting more free ISK. And I will leave it as an exercise to the viewer to read all of the mission details. You really need to do that, because sometimes there are subtle clues and hints that about what you're supposed to do, that if you don't read the mission details, you could easily get the mission wrong and end up failing it because you didn't do the right thing. Okay, once again, go into scanning. Oops, that was the wrong button. This one. If I can learn to click properly. Launch your spread formation. Open the map. And I'm just going to go through what I described last time and do it. Overlap my probes tight like that. Analyze. This is really so much easier than it used to be. Okay. Here is a relic site. We'll click on that. There's the little yellow inverted triangle. Switch to pinpoint mode. Zoom in a little bit. Hold Control. Move the probes over to the yellow triangle. Rotate the view. Zoom in some more. Hold Control. Move it to its overlapping. Scan again. Scanning animation finishes. And we're looking for a relic site. We have one. Recall the probes. Turn the map off. And on that relic training site, hit Warp 2. And now we can click here. Well, actually, turn it off. And we're talking about the civilian relic analyzers, what we need to use. Close that. It's going to be pretty much the same sort of thing we did with the data site. And here's Ruli Icerin again to walk us through things. We need to recover the proof of discovery from inside the training container. Click on that. Approach it. Actually, keep it range 1000, which is going to make it approach anyway. Lock target. When we are within, mouse over this, within 5,000 meters, or 5 kilometers, same thing, we will activate the relic analyzer, and once again, we get to do the hacking minigame. And by the way, I am going to start cutting out travel sequences because it can make the video a lot longer, and that part of it really isn't necessary. The main thing is to focus on what we're actually doing. Alright, we're in range. Click the analyzer, and once again, we go through the game. And it's pretty simple, really. There is no strategy that I can think of. Okay, this is a defense systems firewall. There's other unexplored nodes, though, so let's check them first. Okay, we have to check the firewall. Click there, click again. What we got here? That's another firewall. Let's check this one first. That's our system core. That's what we're looking for. Ignore the second firewall and go to the core. Click. Click again. Hack successful. Open container. Loot all. That's done. That's done. Click the station and go back to dock. Okay, back at the dock. We'll open the active mission. Complete the mission. Bingo. All right. Okay, now we'll go ahead and request the mission. And this one is to scan down a gas signature. Okay, we need a proof of discovery gas passkey. Without this, we won't be able to get into the site. Reward is a Heron, which, if I look at this, it is a ship that is built specifically for scanning and electronic warfare. It doesn't have much in the way of defenses or weaponry. It's used for scouting and exploration. Okay, well, go ahead and close that. We will accept the mission. Close here, open the inventory. We must have this proof of discovery gas passkey in the ship's hold, or it won't let us go. Okay, fitting. We won't need the civilian relic analyzer. Okay, archaeology. Go ahead and train now to level 1. Survey must be at level 3 first. Okay, we'll go ahead and close that up. Close our fittings, undock, and go out and scan down a gas site. Now, at the end of the last one, I didn't reload the core probe launcher, so we'll right-click and click core scanner probe, and it will load them. It should load all of them, I think. Yes, it has. All right. And we once again bring up the probe scanner, launch spread formation, switch to map mode, hold Alt, move these in, press Analyze. And this time in this list down here, we're going to be looking for gas site. Scanning complete. There's a gas site right there. There's our yellow inverted triangle. Switch to pinpoint spread. Hold Control. Move these over it. Rotate the view with the left mouse. Zoom in a bit more. Okay, we're already over it. Good. Scanning again. All right, now let's see. Look down the list. Here's a gas training site. We have a full 100% signal because there it is right there. Okay, recover probes. Turn the map off. Warp 2 on the gas training site. Close this. Good practice is always to reload. So I'm going to go ahead and reload all. And we're warping out to the gas site. Now, this time, what we're going to find, I believe, is an acceleration gate at the entrance to the site. If you don't have, click here to bring up cargo. If you don't have this proof of discovery gas passkey in the hold, you won't be able to get into the site. The gate won't activate. Okay, so right-click, activate gate. We have the passkey, so it activates. Okay, thank you very much. Now we're warping in. We have arrived at a gas site. And it says right here, if somebody else has already made it to the site and there may not be a document immediately available, if you find the container empty, wait a few seconds and a new one will be produced. Click on the training container, open cargo. As soon as we're within range, it opens up, loot all. It's now aboard our ship. Close that. We're done here. Go back to the station, and I'll see you there. Okay, here we are. All right, open our active mission. Complete the mission. And we have completed the exploration arc. We have been given the Heron. We've got all this ISK. Close this and open up the wallet. And we have 675,000 ISK. And we load this. There's the history. And so on. Now this character started out with 8,000 ISK, just like any other new character. And already, just by doing these 5 missions, 676,000 ISK. So doing these missions is a good thing because it helps get you some starting out money. And along the way, as you've already seen, look in the ship hangar. There's the currently active ship, the EvE, and there's a Heron and a Bantam. So that's pretty good right off the get-go. And we have a few things here. Now these civilian items we're not going to be needing after the mission arc is done. We'll keep them for right now until we finish with all 5 career agents. There are some skills here that need to be added in, and we'll get to that as soon as the prerequisites are met, and we'll be taking care of that over time. Now, future videos, I'm going to try to keep them shorter. As I said, I'm not going to cover the step by step for each and every one of these remaining 40 missions, because that would make these videos painfully long and whatnot. And the only reason I did so with exploration, quite frankly, is because of the amount of trouble I had with it myself when I first started, and the amount of trouble that I still see people talking about having difficulty with it. So I figured I'd try to cover this one in more detail. Other videos will try to focus on individual topics and such like and whatnot. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.